Well, hello everyone. Dr. Stock coming here. I'm back. I'm ready to rock with you guys. I have an article here. It's a white paper coming out from Visa regarding Ethereum and NFTs. So I think that it's something that would be really cool to take a look at. It's actually NFTs in general. I say Ethereum because they mention Ethereum a lot in it. They also mention Flow as well. So I don't think that that's something that we can undermine. There's something that we should also take a look at. So it's one that I thought was really important to unpack and to really give us a little bit more of an understanding about the direction that NFTs are seen going, and the fact that they are in their infancy, and that that Visa is super interested in them, and also super interested in crypto, and I believe also super interested in Ethereum. So I'll put that up and share with it for you. So you better get ready to rock. Welcome back. If you guys want to check out my Patreon, that link is down in the description. If you want to just hit the like button because you do like what I have to say, go ahead and hit that as well. Also, let me see here. Referral links. You'll find those down in the description. Let's move right on to the white paper from Visa so you can see what it is I'm talking about. I mentioned this in a video the other day when I was talking about Ethereum, and Ethereum I think is just on a real tear. It's a monster, and I think it's going to just be huge, especially when we move into proof of stake and sharding with Ethereum 2.0 and really start to ramp up the scalability. And I think Visa also happens to be pretty bullish on Ethereum as well, so I don't think that's something to be discounted. So NFTs, non-fungible tokens, or is it non-fungible tokens? I'm going to go with the first one. Engaging in today's fans and crypto and commerce. My goodness. All right, so I have this annotated for you just to break some of it out. By the way, if you search this title, in Google, you're gonna find it. Okay, it's publicly available to anyone, so you can check it out. You can give it a more thorough read. I just want to bring some of the highlights to your attention. So here I have it highlighted. For the first time, content on the internet in the form of an NFT can be definitively owned by a specific person independent of a centralized intermediary. And this is unlocking exciting opportunities for digital commerce and engagement. I think that there's going to be markets that just are blown wide open, and that we're going to have people moving into this NFT space and really learn how to capitalize on it over time. And I think it goes a little bit farther than that. I think it also goes into governance and decision making, and Visa sees what I see as well. So let's move on from there. So they say an estimated 18 billion of global sports revenue has been lost during the pandemic. Ouch. Further driving the need to diversify revenue and focus on the technology to reposition businesses for growth opportunities to capture the attention of fans. And I really think, I don't know if you checked out DraftKings. I made a video on it this morning. I think that you should go check it out. As a matter of fact, I should link to it in this video so that you can see it as well. Their partnership with Simplebet is going to be absolutely huge. Separate from that, they've put out a line of NFTs. They have one from Tom Brady, and then Osaka, I think, might be the tennis player's name. Hers, I believe, are being released today, so that's something to check out. So limited quantities, and they have like ruby and emerald and maybe like a silver. I don't remember the different qualities that they have, and they have signature series on top of that, and the demand for them has been huge so far, and I think that that's going to go a long way for DraftKings to open up such an avenue like that. I think is really going to fill out the revenues, and I really think it's going to translate well to the bottom line over time, that we're really going to see that play out. Let me move on because there's a lot to get through, and I can make other videos talking about the other avenues that we see over time. So absolutely no need to overtalk that part. So fan engagement, most successful long-term relevant NFTs will be ones that have ongoing value and utility. It connects fans, offering voting rights to team decisions, access to exclusive offers, and the ability to earn rewards. NFTs are trackable. So unique segmentation engagement strategies based on trackable factors. So these are all really cool for that customer relationship management. So that can be really big for the businesses. And then it can also lead into to marketing as well. So down here, we see enabled digital scarcity. Brands can sell exclusive limited digital goods. Remember, I just talked about DraftKings and what they're doing with NFTs right now. So that's a really good example of that. So the NFTs, this is a cool part too, is that royalties can be paid to the NFT creator, or if it's the whatever it is, centralized entities, let's say it's DraftKings who created them, that they would institute in that smart contract code that would give them a royalty to whoever paid for that NFT in the first place, that if that NFT ever got resold, that they would still get a royalty through that. So absolutely awesome. As a matter of fact, why couldn't you code it in there that they get 1%, for example, for that NFT for the lifetime? Let's call it a servicing fee for the exchange, or maybe it's a custodial fee for storing it on their platform. Those are all things to think of. So they said that there's 7 steps to consider for integrating NFTs into a successful business. And I think that this is worth reading on the retail trader side of things, or even if you're an investor in the crypto space, that you read through this and see what businesses are looking for, because that gives you an edge on looking for those businesses who are moving into the NFT market and finding out which ones the leaders are in order to capitalize on them. I think DraftKings has a really good early start. I do have to say DraftKings again. I'm sorry, I'm just excited. From this morning when I happened to think about the psychological impact that Simple Bet's going to have, and the fact that they're in the NFTs. So it keeps coming back to me because of that whole recency effect, because I was just working with it. So they talk about vertical integration, and it says in the future, expect more flexible enterprise solutions. So they talk about collectibles and art and gaming. They talk about digital scarcity, that you can't just like put an image up and have it spread all across the internet and everybody can access it. Yeah, you can do that, but the NFT would actually be like, you would have that unique thing. And some people don't see the future of that, but then there's something saying that I have the exact one. I have the original, and this is in that digital format. So art, it also works in that same way. You know, I like to do art, and I've not really put up any as an artist. I just kind of like, hey, my friends on social media, look what I drew, or look what I painted. And they're like, ooh, neat, yeah. But imagine if I did want to market that, and there have been paintings that have already sold for lots of money. And as this market saturates and as NFTs age, you're going to find some here and there that do that, but it could be a regular income, just another revenue stream for artists, for example. So gaming, I see this being absolutely huge for gaming. So like when you have world firsts and everything, I remember I was a World of Warcraft player back in the early 2000s, back in vanilla, as a matter of fact. I was not in the beta for that, just for anybody who's nerdy enough out there to really get into it. So some of the first that we did in our guild, we were not ever a world first, but I think that we were a server first for 1 or 2 things. And then I was in a high level rating guild when the Burning Crusade came out, and all those first things that happened, getting an opportunity to hold on to that first video of the world first and actually claiming ownership to it in a digital way, I don't think that it should be underestimated. And also incentivizing through NFTs. If you hold this NFT, then you have access to these other rewards. There's just a world of possibilities that are opened up by the NFTs. And Ethereum, I mentioned, and that's in the title of this. Ethereum, I think, stands to gain in a huge way. So here it says Ethereum is the blockchain with the most NFT activity, but there are other blockchains gaining traction with NFTs. And so they mentioned not only Ethereum, one of the largest blockchains, robust ecosystem, developers, wallets, applications. Majority of NFTs have circulations built on top of Ethereum. While most NFTs exist today on Ethereum, the fees associated with the NFT transactions, the gas fees, are prohibitively expensive. It's also right now, even though it is developer friendly, like it says down here in the highlight, it's not necessarily eco-friendly yet. So they address that later on, talk about proof of work being sort of a dirty solution because it uses so much electricity. Even if it is built on renewables, that's still something that the proof of stake ones, they mentioned Polygon, Solana, Flow, I think is also proof of stake ones that can transact a lot faster. And also on top of that, a lot cleaner. There are ones that say, you know, they could be good alternatives, but Ethereum is still that #1, and they are switching to proof of stake, also addressed in this paper. And that's something that as they move to sharding should also up that scalability as well, to start putting in the transactions per second that we need to see in order to really fill out the leadership of Ethereum across the globe for the crypto space. Flow also gets mentioned, and Flow is another blockchain. And I would like to point that out, that yes, Flow is there because it's big for NFTs right now. It's gaining traction right now. It shouldn't be undermined for that reason. It's just another one gets tossed out there. So Ethereum, my #1. Flow, from reading this, I'm interested in looking at Flow for the first time. So this is pretty cool too. And they talk about it being energy efficient, and they talk about the gas cost. So using a lot of power in order to make the transaction or minting the NFTs, and then also possibly custodial services for where the NFC is stored. That's something else that's also in there as well. So one of the greatest sources of value in a blockchain is attracting a broad set of users and developers. And so again, they mentioned Ethereum. Again, Ethereum has an incredibly robust developer ecosystem, and blockchains like Flow are getting more third-party adoption. So Flow gets mentioned in there, Ethereum gets mentioned in there. Those are definitely things to pay attention to. They talk about minting NFTs and it being immortalized on the blockchain. So it goes into that public ledger. Everybody has access that can see that it's there, when it was created, where it's been moved to, what public addresses and everything. And then it would just be the private keys that are held to those public addresses that we wouldn't necessarily know unless we are the owners of those keys. So just keep that in mind. So then they talk about platforms that can be used to mint those NFTs. OpenSea, Rarible are positioned for any creator. And then they talk about some other ones for branding. Bitski gets mentioned in here, and Adidas and Levi's get name dropped in there. And then VFriends drop was on Nameless, many more coming to the space. So they give us some places where we could see NFTs being created, or if we care to create them, they also drop some names there for us as well. So also they talk about storage in here. Do you store it directly on the blockchain? That is such a scalability issue when you talk about storing directly on the blockchain. I think at this point, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And I think that they also mentioned that as well. They say about the file size allowed can be rather small. So if it's a video that the NFT is created on, it's a rather large video, then it would be very inefficient to try and store it in the blockchain, possibly not even something possible to do. So decentralized storage, so using peer-to-peer storage protocols where you aren't dependent on any one of those single entities, like it says in here, that would also be a solution. Then centralized storage, paying a fee in order to host that. The NFT marketplace provides the service of storing digital content through its relationship with the cloud providers. And then you, of course, typically you would have to pay those cloud providers depending on what it is that you're storing there and how big the file is that, or the NFT is that you're storing there. So let me move on from there. And now they talk about storing access NFTs securely and easily. So these are things that need to happen in the market. So as we bring in that ease of use for the user, that's really something that can bring it in. But then also being able to store them in the wallets that we have is also something that needs to happen. So it says to maximize the addressable market, it's important to be able to integrate with many of these wallets. So if you go with a custodial solution, that means that whatever platform it is that you're running on, that they keep your crypto safe, or they're the ones being held responsible for keeping your crypto safe. They're the custodians, they're the keepers. Now, when you talk about non-custodial, then you are the one responsible for protecting your own wallet and whatever digital assets you have in that wallet. So that can really impact your solution. And I think that would depend on who it is. I think that's going to be a personal preference. Honestly, I think for the majority of the world, it's going to be down to the personalized user, and they're just going to want the easiest solution that's out there. I see custodial services being much bigger than non-custodial. And as long as the ease of access or the ease of use is much simpler for the custodial solution, even if it comes at a small premium. So they talk about being able to distribute across an applicable marketplace. And so they talk there about flexibility, control over branding of the user. Are they going to use fiat currency in order to get it, cryptocurrency to get it? It's important to accept card payments, they say. Absolutely. I almost never carry any sort of cash. And as far as crypto goes, crypto is not necessarily the easiest to use all the time. So having a card payment solution to that, absolutely essential. So they talk about open marketplaces. Anyone can create the NFTs. And then also from that, require contributors to be approved in order to create the NFTs if they're crypto native curated marketplaces. Existing closed NFTs, platforms use their own storefront and branding. And then finally, white label. So the white label stuff, they offer just the storefront for selling the NFTs, or the backend infrastructure means that they supply sort of the foundation, if you will. And then it's up to whatever company it is that hires them in order to build up the storefront from there. And they say that it can bring in more flexibility. So number 7 here, they talk about identify additional opportunities to engage fans. Selling art and collectibles, the primary use cases for NFTs. But they also say loyalty and gamification is a possibility. Utility across metaverses, imbue NFTs with enhanced utility by building functionality that can be used across different applications with multiple metaverses. Ticketing, NFTs can be combined with event tickets to provide access to an event. So that's a little bit more security there when we look at it. Fan governance and decision making, so allowing the fans to actually have some sort of impact on the team or brand, so that we'll call it like a crowd-backed idea, you know, or maybe even a more like a true democratized idea there. Democracy more in a pure sense, that the majority could rule. So fan data, it says with pseudo anonymity. So data is huge. Data is king. That's all it comes down to when it comes to marketing. Whoever controls the data is definitely going to be king of that data. So it says about help inform marketing strategies and how to engage the consumers in an ongoing manner. So they give other considerations here. And one of the big things that they talk about would be environmental impact. In Ethereum, they're like, yeah, it still uses proof of work. And then they mentioned Flow and Polygon and Solana. Solana is super quick. Don't discount Solana is important either. Polygon is a layer 2 solution built on Ethereum as a sidechain to Ethereum. And I believe that Flow is its own blockchain, but that's one I don't know a lot about. So it's one that I'm going to be reading about. And then they talk about the proof of stake model that Ethereum is working on, should come out early 2022. We're going to keep our eyes on that. They also talk about blockchain transaction fees. Ethereum can still be a little bit expensive. That's why it has layer 2 solutions and scaling solutions to also help out with that speed of those transactions a little bit. So those are some things to watch out for. So I know that was kind of quick. I was trying to keep it nice and easy for you all. I hope that you enjoyed it. So I got my screen share off. So that Visa white paper, you can check it out. You can search for it online. Give it a thorough read. I really think that we're going to find, by being knowledgeable early on, that it can open up our eyes to some opportunities down the road for companies that stand to benefit, or even crypto itself, like Ethereum, that could benefit from the NFT space. So thank you guys. Thanks for rocking with me. I really appreciate it. I hope that you have a great day, a wonderful time, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.